Hi, my name's Pharaoh, and I'm in the middle of doing this, so I just thought I would kickstart anyway. Um, I'm kind of running around my settlements in my oldest save, just kind of getting a feel for what's happened since I've been updating. So, in general, what this stream will be would be just kind of a recap of what we've discovered so far, and just check something. It looks fine. And I'm kicking in a bit later, so I don't know if anybody will join me or not, but either way, it'll be a record of what's happened. And right now, I've got to make a quick policy decision, so I'm going to do that now. Oh, it's one of these bans or tax things. Ban weapon smuggling or do not ban weapon. Our leaders are worried by the trend for weapon smuggling among the citizens. The problem with these is it whacks on so much maintenance if you do. It's like almost you don't have a choice. We have to make somebody upset, which is slightly frustrating. But it does get rid of maintenance, and that is a permanent amount of money. So let's check the status and just update it on my spreadsheet. So maintenance costs gone down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 9. Happiness has gone down 1. Yeah, some of those decisions really don't feel like decisions. They feel more like you have to do this. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my original oldest save. Hi, Gravnaut. Yeah, I'm still a little bit confused by how this go live button works on my OBS. It really doesn't want to do the right thing. Hi, Alphys. Good to see you. I hope you didn't have to click around and work out what stream to look at. Yeah, basically, if I, in response to this, if I set up a stream to come on a particular time, which is useful because it means people know I'm going to be turning up. OBS says, "Oh, you can't start that live. You've got to click this button instead." So I dutifully click that button, and then for some reason it stops one stream and starts another, or at least it looks like it, because on my side it doesn't look like that's happening. So I can't really comment on exactly why that happened. All I know is it's frustrating. Maybe I should manage it directly through YouTube, like YouTube would probably want me to. But that seems slightly counterproductive. Right, so where are we? We are now. So this is my main. Oh, I've got another thing to do. Resolve citizen dispute. They're all settlement debt related. Boss and employee, their relationship was dark and culminated in a quarrel where Nayet threatened to leap from a rooftop. Little has retaliated by destroying Nayet's reputation at work. Well, they're both going a bit too far, so I'm going to find both. Stop doing these silly things. So, where was I? I was going to look at this. So currently I've got this set up to produce cryogenic chambers, which are a pretty nice product to make. And I've got it set up for frigate fuel just because it's nice. But 21 days feels an incredibly long period of time. I guess my productivity is not super high at the moment. It's clearly got room to go up, and it clearly goes up above 1 million. So, I don't know, probably 1,200,000, something like that. It's difficult to say. And clearly my maintenance could be going down. I could get that down a bit lower. Producing one cryogenic chamber in 21 days for an A-class settlement with 129 people with a population that has been growing. It just feels not particularly well balanced to me. That's one of the first things I've noticed. Secondly, let me just, the 2 page links are still there. I'll see if I can get rid of one of them if it lets me, because I couldn't see both of them before. No, I'm only seeing the one. Who knows? Probably the vagaries of the internet. Where was I? Yeah, so the other thing, I've got a pretty well established settlement here. It's got a large number of buildings, quite a lot of very productive S-class buildings. But I'm nowhere near, I don't think, getting turning this into an S-class settlement, because there's lots of Bs, which the lowest an already existing settlement seems to start a building is B. So still got lots of untouched buildings. So there is a lot of work to do to get a settlement of this size up to a higher rank, I think. Which is fair enough. I mean, I don't really mind that. It's one of those things you do in the background. You don't exactly work on it constantly. I have been doing that because it's new content and I wanted to explore and work out how things were working, but it doesn't bother me that it takes a while. I've seen people complaining, oh, this is ridiculous, I had a better settlement before. It's like, well, yes, it did. We did take a knock, but it didn't take long to get back to roughly the same. This feels maybe not quite as good as before. Its productivity probably isn't as high. Maintenance is definitely higher than it used to be. And the happiness is definitely lower. But on the other hand, it's a brand new system, and it doesn't bother me that it's taken a bit of a hit. So the other thing I noticed in this settlement specifically is if I go to, and this potentially can mess things up, so I'm going to quickly make sure I do a save. I probably just did that, but if I go in here and go to change output, it says that in order to do these, I have to have an S-class commercial building, which I do have. And here I have to have an A-class industrial building, which I just don't have. So I'm not sure how this has popped up. These are fine. I have got S-class agricultural buildings. But what's classing as an industrial building? I've got it at the highest level, which is an S-class industrial building. But I don't have any industrial buildings, or at least not any productivity buildings. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, this is a farm. It says nutritional supply, so that's a farm. It seems like nutritional supply is the category. This S-Class is obviously trading. This S-Class, maybe this counts, but it's a starport. This is, I think, technically infrastructure. Yep, infrastructure. I presume this is as well. Yeah. Again, starport. What else is S? It's got a habitation there. Oh no, that's not habitation. That's actually my office. So my office is this. Maybe that counts. That's trading. So I've got two trading at S. I've got the office at S. I've got a farm at S. I've got two ports at S. And I've got the pool and the tower at S. And something over there, that's probably a farm as well. I didn't spot that, but let's go and have a look what that is. So that's behind the... I swear by Firefox, it doesn't really cause me any major problems. It was falling behind for a while, but I don't think it is anymore. Yep, so that's a farm as well. So I don't know why I'm able to get the highest S-Class product that clearly says, if I click onto here, requires S-Class industrial building. So I'm not sure. There must be something else that categorizes, unless it's just a bug. Oh, hi, Ignition, by the way. I didn't spot that was you talking about Brave. But good to see you. So, what else have we learned? Well, we've learned that the most profitable things seem to be farms and factories. If we compare this farm, for instance, it's got 104.3 productivity, but its upkeep cost is only 37 grand or 37 and a half. So that's making a significant amount of money. Whereas most other things aren't making quite that much. I mean, trade can make quite... Where's the trade gone again? There it is. These are both S. Trade has got 88,000, nowhere near as much in terms of its productivity, but its upkeep costs are only 35. So it's making a good bit of money, but not a stupidly high amount of money. So just check the other one, make sure that they're both in the same ballpark. I could just look at my spreadsheet, I suppose. This one's 95,000 and upkeep 48. So they're making money, but nowhere near as much as these S-Class farms seem to be making. Yeah, players are getting their... I've noticed yesterday... Oh, I'm trying to click that. Use my thumb on the iPad. Players are getting to S-Class. I know some people just wanted to push these faster and have therefore kind of turned off costs, which means that buildings have been upgrading a lot faster. I haven't done that because I'm just interested in how it works and what kind of pacing it is. But I can see why someone might do that. And I'm not sure if everybody that's got an S-Class one has done that. I mean, I think some people might have had settlements that were more productive than mine. I don't know. But yes, it definitely is possible now. I've started to do my habitation units. Mainly because they cost quite a lot. Maybe this is probably the point to look at the spreadsheet a second. I go to browser, not browser, and there's my Excel. There we go. If we move that back to there. So it's not this particular, it's this one. This is where we are at the moment. See if I can zoom in a bit. So my of the buildings we have here, if I put it in order of most profitable, so the most profitable are the nutrition, which are the farms, and then the trade, which are a little bit less. And then that's an infrastructure silo. I wonder if the silo might be allowing me to do the S-Class. It says infrastructure. I wonder if having one infrastructure at S-Class is enough to count as a bit like industrial. I'm not sure. This farm is making more than any of the starports at A-Class. I'm not 100% sure if employees is doing much, especially in this settlement where everything is over staffed. It seems. Let's have a quick look what the we go to one of these farms. So you can't see me doing this, but so we quickly take the browser off for a second. So here we have a farm, and it's just saying 7 employees, 7 max, and I think that's because I've just got quite a high population. So if I go to that other farm that was hidden over here somewhere, again 7 employees, 7 max. So seem to be hitting the maxes everywhere I go. What else are we making money? Oh, I guess we can test the storm in a minute. We're going to test the pool for the storm. So that's got maximum employees. So I think over a certain number of employees, I don't think this particular settlement is making any difference. I'm going to go back into my normal play, because if there's a storm coming, one of the things I wanted to do is see if I could catch that stormfish in the pond. No bait, but we've established that it seems to have a minimum of A-class. Okay, I've got the legendary. Again, with no bait, I immediately got an S-class. And another one. Are you saying that you noticed on my two markets? I'll have a look at my two markets if that's what you mean. That's not the stormfish. I mean, it seems that every building improves its productivity when you upgrade it. So there's nothing that you don't need to upgrade. It just strikes me, if you want to get the highest results quickly, then farms and possibly factories, which I haven't looked at as closely yet because I don't have them on this save. I think I have one on this save now in a different settlement. Seem to be the way to go anyway. So farms and factories seem to be the profitable ones, which makes sense. They are purely productive. The storm's cleared before I could get a stormfish. Right, let's go and have a look at this other. So that's 5 employees, 5 max at 88,301. That's 7 employees, 7 max at 95,146. So I wonder if the difference there is more to do with which one you build first. Maybe there's a diminishing returns on the second one. Although this one doesn't have any NPCs and the other one does. There are 7 people working there, or 5 people working there. Why am I not seeing anybody? We need fishing ponds minus the settlements in abandoned mode. I'm so jealous that the nanites coming out of that pond. Yeah, I mean, they could make it as a build part, I guess. But then it wouldn't have any... It wouldn't have a class. What was the population again? 129. So that's probably enough to staff most of my buildings. I noticed early on some of them were overstaffed. Right, let's get this. The good thing about the habitation is that you can upgrade them quite quickly. They take about 20 minutes each from the smaller ones. But it doesn't kind of bump up your productivity that much. But it does give me room for more citizens. But again, it doesn't mean you get new citizens. It's just room for new citizens. Let's see if my stats have changed at all. So I've got 129 still out of 150. So it was 129 out of 147. And it this one? No. Maybe it was. Just need to look at my map a second and work out which one to do next. M would be good. So M is the one where we're standing between here and there. M is that one there. Is that habitation? Or is it that one there? No, it's that one there. So that's going to take 20 minutes. I think the happiness goes up. So we go to back to this one. It's just +1. Let's have a look at this one. It's just +1. That one's S over there. Yeah, so the happiness has gone up to 4 there from 1. So it's worth it for the happiness. So let's have a look at some of my less established settlements on this save. In my spreadsheet, the next one would be Greater Limhal. So let's go there. This is significantly smaller. It only has 16 population out of a maximum of 54. And looking at my spreadsheet, I'm currently updating a habitation port to see how it differs here. So let's check to see if things are actually staffed in. So I presume they're not. So Hydroponics Bay, it's got 1 out of 6 staff, but it's still got a productivity of 96,000. Let me just compare that to something similar. Nutrition. Go silent while looking at a spreadsheet nobody can see. Yeah, if we compare that to the S class in my other, in the one we were just in, it was 104,000, and this is 96,000. So it's not that far off. It's only 8,000 off, and that had a full complement of staff, and this only has 1 staff. And the upkeep costs are actually cheaper here. Let's have a look at my other farms. Yeah, so this is the same, 104,000, and it's only got 1 employee, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference, it seems. And this is 100,000. something it's requiring me to do. Now, I've noticed whenever you get unexpected guests and they want to stay, we seem to get complications based on them. I noticed this before, but I also, this morning, I was playing with it and I noticed I will say, for instance, do this, and then later on it will talk about the veteran beast whisperer is making lots of money for you, but there's unrest because of such and such. And then you have to make more decisions based on these new arrivals. So they do come back again and again, it seems. If I do the unknown outcome, my bet is it will be something like minus happiness or minus Viking. The increase in maintenance is probably going to be a hit. So have a quick look what I am actually at the moment. See, currently my net income is 158,000, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. So we'll go for that. But it's going to take longer to actually get anything productive here. But they're celebrating because they're quite keen to have a new member of the population. Let's just compare, because he would have given me some other benefits. So let's just see what my stats are. It's gone up. No, the population hasn't actually gone up, which is odd. The max population has. So that's probably a bug, unless I lost population somewhere along the line in the last few minutes since I was last here taking the notes, which doesn't make sense. Productivity has gone up from 504,000 to 602,000 by taking him on board. Maintenance is this. No, it hasn't the same. It's gone up as well. It's gone up from 34,000, no, 345,000. So yeah, I used to describe this as settlement maths. Sometimes things you do and it wouldn't make any sense. For instance, in this case, I just brought somebody on board. It said population went up, but it didn't actually do it. It feels like some of the routines don't work. So on this settlement, because it's a brand new settlement and it had a few farms, I focused on farms. And it's made it in the black. It's going to take a while to actually produce anything, but it's in the black. And now I've got the luxury of upgrading some of these houses as well, which will hopefully make people a bit happier. But there wasn't much else to do other than that once I got the farms upgraded. It's mostly houses left. Just check what else I've got here. I've got some storage. I already put that to S. I've got some trading. I put that to S. So it's just the habitation and one storage I haven't sorted out. So I could potentially sort out some storage next. I was interested to see what would happen if I worked on the habitation stuff. So let's go to the next one. So this was the autophage. So they just want me to keep going into debt, which is just going to slow things down. And if not, it chisels away at happiness. I mean, I'm at 21. That seems like it's getting somewhere. But if I refuse this debt, what are we on? We're on positive at the moment. It's possibly not going to completely stop it, but it's going to slow things down. Let's see if the times change. So we're on... Oops, wrong thing. I keep pressing the same button. So we've got this being produced in 23 hours, 41 minutes. My bet is it will just go into debt straight away. It did. It just took on the debt as a negative. And so everything's just reset. Which is frustrating because it's like it hasn't changed my productivity maintenance balance. I should still be being productive. But instead of it just taking that into account, it's basically said, okay, well, you've got this much debt now, and it's going to take 4.5 hours to clear. So again, it's kind of settlement maths. It's not really working it out based on a simulation. It's just doing it as a game with certain rules that don't necessarily make sense. I could do with upgrading at some point. What are we, 50? Yeah, let me have a look to see what I was upgrading here last. What I was upgrading was multi-barn. So it says nutrition, but it must be storage, surely. I must have just made a typo. Let's just double check it. And find the terminal. No, it's nutrition. Multi-barn. It sounds like it's storage, but it's a farm. Fair enough. That's not going to be for a while. Other than that, I really like the looks of these settlements. I like that kind of rusty, high-tech look. In fact, one of the reasons I'm recapping what's happened with settlements is because I don't really want to do any more streaming when I'm just running from settlement to settlement. So what I'll probably do next time is, after I've done a bit of gathering for all of the build parts, we'll start playing with the build parts and see what they're like and how they work and what we can do with them. Let me just have a look at how my status has changed. 18 population, still 52. Yes, 20. I've gone up to 24. So they really like the public art. Productivity is the same. Maintenance is the same. And Sentinel alert is the same. Fair enough. And then lastly, the most recent settlement. Diplo Ridge. I mean, they look new. I kind of like the Gek ones. I know they're quite basic now, but And that when I first saw the settlements, the ones I liked were the Gek ones, and I think I still kind of like them, just because they kind of tell that story of an old maritime tradition, but with lots of flags and lots of kind of fake sails. Fake's not the right word. Decorative sails, that's the better word. So that's still doing here. This just doesn't seem to me to be even a choice. Do you want higher productivity with a bit of settlement debt, which is going to potentially slow down production, I guess, because if we were actually producing something, it would stop it. But at the moment, we've got quite a lot of debt anyway, and it's going up. But we're going to get a bump in productivity. So one's permanent productivity, the other's temporary. So just update this. 393499. So we're only 15 grand away from breaking even here. Now this seemed to work earlier. It's working still now. So maybe the other day when I was thinking it wasn't working, I just hadn't refilled it in. I don't know. So this settlement, what have I done? Let's have a look at my list. I haven't done much yet. Most things are at sea, so they don't have any colour flags on them at all. And the first thing I did was update this terrarium, so it's nutritional, so it's a farm. And I upgraded that to B straight away. So it's now slightly productive. Now, considering I just said that I'm only 15 grand away from breaking even, I've only done one thing. I've increased one farm. And then we have another one exactly the same. We're upgrading that to A. So my bet is just by upgrading the farm, 2 farms to B and then 1 to A, I'll be in the black. So, oh, the other thing I did, the very first thing that happened is it wanted me to build this water tower, which I've left at sea. Then other than that, I haven't really done much here. I think this is new. This was another thing that said, do you want to build it? And interestingly, it's one of the few factories I have. It's a production facility. And again, we have a multi-tool. I haven't been up to the... This is B, and it's infinite Rodochorton compressor. So I might go up to the space station in a bit. But first of all, let's reload here and see if it changes. Now, at least on this save, I'll be able to test to see, as it has changed, I'll be able to test to see what happens if I take this up to west, because I couldn't on the other save because I didn't have purple, and it needed a purple product. So, gift of peace, that's an easy one to remember. Let's go up to the space station. So I'll chip away at this, upgrading that production facility at some point and just see if it makes any difference. It certainly didn't seem to make any difference getting it to B or even A, I think, on one of my saves. I'm wondering if it just, I think as Gravnaut was also suggesting yesterday, maybe it just chooses from different pools randomly. And it's more likely to choose from a C or a B pool. But very occasionally we'll choose from an S pool. So in this save, I could check what the Vy'keen is giving us in the freighter. We can compare that. My hunch is it'll be the same. Gift of peace at C. Gift of peace at B. So it seems to be roughly in line with this cabinet. The same one. We fly out, call in my freighter. But I want to reload. I don't really want my freighter here. So I'll go back to the space station and teleport to it rather than jump out of my ship in my freighter. Oh, I can't, you know. There's going to be no way. It's going to have to be here. That's frustrating. Never mind. Where is it in this save? They're all upstairs in my little village thing. Messenger of the Stars, so it's not even the same as that. I'm pretty sure that doesn't change when we move, though. Let's go to that neighbouring system we've already been to and then back again. The other thing I've noticed, we used to have a very mixed population at our settlements, and now it feels like it's gone back to being primarily the race that we would expect. That was how they were when we first got settlements, and I always wondered if it was a bug that we suddenly had mixed settlements, or whether it was a deliberate change. did change. Yeah, I'm still in the right system, aren't I? Yeah. I didn't think this changed. I used to think it changed. Someone said it didn't, and I wasn't able to reproduce it, so I just took their word for it. But maybe it does change location-based. Oh, wait a minute. I warped in, didn't I? So I would have immediately got the space station pool. Look at the end. Okay, I don't think it does change. Let's just go back to the space station and see what. When you've called in the space and we in orbit around different planets also changes. I don't think it does, and I don't think even that changes either. I think I just got confused because I had reloaded. That's a different gun. It's a different gun. I always assumed that the anomaly one is generally the space station one. I think it might be the same as offered by the NPC. Let's have a look. Thing is, these things might have changed. It's so long ago since I last looked at this. And I'm not exactly a frequent multi-tool hunter. Yeah, so that seems to be the same as being offered on my freighter. I'm pretty sure this won't change. But I'm surprised that it's not the same as the one being offered in the settlement, so... I'll double check that. I don't think it is. course, just doing this a couple of times doesn't prove a lot, but I'm pretty sure this is static from previous experiments. So that's static and the same seemingly as the NPC. So let's have a look back at the settlement. Where are we again? Diplo. No, that's the one from the other cabinet. Now, as I said before, the multi-tool in the cabinet on the freighter does seem to change based on the day, and so does this, but they don't seem to be on the same clock. It seems they're doing different things, so who knows. Definitely needs more research. Minutes. That's working nicely. So one of the things I'm tempted to do on this save, now that we've kind of got the basics under our belt of what happens with settlements, is just trying to get, I didn't see any, try to get my build parts with salvaged data. It's a bit weird, there's none around at all. Might be a bit of a grind though. What is up with that? This is a bug I have on this particular save. It will not show me the system I'm in. I have to find it. I'm actually tempted to rip out loads of these systems in the save file. I've tried it a couple of times. It didn't necessarily work, but depends how I do it, I suppose. Here we are. Yes, it's an ordinary system. Go into my log. It just seems devoid of anything. It's not even seeing that. Maybe there's a bit of a bug going on here. Actually, look at the top. I'm not seeing my north, south, east, west either. Let's reload. That's odd. I've not seen this bug before. that's better. Or is it? No, there's something going on here. At least I'm getting a few things. I'm getting my north, south, east, west now. I'm getting paraffinium and copper. We seem to have a new experimental branch. Let's see if there's any notes. No additional notes. See what's different. We might not be able to tell what's different, but first things first, we'll be able to jump in and out of a ship and see if it's still doing that flickering thing. I'm getting star bramble. I don't know if I was getting that before or not. Right, there is some stuff just right there, look. But I'm not seeing it. Have I got a dodgy multi-tool of some kind? Nope. Not seeing the machinery. It's not a good test for the flicker though. We need to go back to... Yeah, this must be a new experimental addition. I had already got the latest experimental. Only this morning I'd made sure that there was no update. And then there must have been one since I've been playing. Yeah, got to the wrong place. We'll have a look. In answer to that question there. First of all, I want to find out if we get the stuttering, because usually I can recreate the stuttering by warping to another settlement, jumping in my ship. Is my ship showing up? Yes, it is. No, I'm still getting stuttering there. So that's not been fixed. Now, I actually built a tower with the different textures so I can quickly check them at any point. Oops. Okay, now these textures just look blurry to me. That's the normal. No, that's normal. When you get really in close, you can see they're very, very stylized now. They're fine at this distance. This is the weathered effect. So the weathered effect thing has been fixed, but there's nothing going on there. It's just very, very blurry. Same happens with, this is the weathered effect wood, which to me looks quite low definition. And this is the weathered effect. I mean, the normal wood, which again looks fine from about here. But that's not what they used to look like at all. This is the weathered effect Korvax, which I don't think looks bad, because it's supposed to be kind of a metallic finish anyway. And this is the normal. I wouldn't say there was a problem with that, really. This is the normal autophage, which I would say is okay. This is the weathered one, which I think looks fine. It's just the wood and the stone. They just don't look right. Some of the details look okay. some of the details don't. It's like we've just got the wrong level of detail. Not seeing any. Yeah, I mean, because it's metal, you can get away with it a bit more. It's supposed to be smooth and not so much of a problem. I would agree that I wouldn't say it looks great, but I would be happy with that. It wouldn't bother me. Whereas the other two just look quite blurry. It feels to me like they've reduced the textures for the Switch, but they've kind of left the wrong textures on for everybody else. There's some machinery that's showing here. So what's different here? Go back to the other planet again. Something was odd there as well, texture-wise. Maybe it's just because I've got the... Yeah. You can see these mushrooms here. Specifically this patch here. Popping in and out. Get them into a normal. They're not doing it normally, but if I got the terrain manipulator on, they're popping in and out. Same issue. So it must be to do with an overlay. Presumably we have an overlay on the textures when we're in our ship to represent the not showing anything wrong there, but to represent the windscreen. It's strange. I haven't got anything from these recently. I don't know if it only allowed you to get something from them once. Or maybe I've seen them in this system before and I can't get the reward. I don't know, but you can get like a skeleton from these. It's one of the skeletons you can't get any other way. maybe once you've got it in your Wonders catalogue, you don't get it anymore. Where is my settlement? It's not on that planet. It's not on that planet. Have I gone to a different system? Where did I go to a different system? Yeah, I've gone to a different system. I'm in Hilbert now. Okay. Switch 1 forced the tech cargo infantry changes and switch 2 now low res. I don't think it's going to be permanent. I feel like it's an oversight. There's absolutely no reason why you would force low resolution on PC. Or for that matter, any of the other platforms that can cope with it. The PlayStation's got more than enough VRAM. How much VRAM does the Switch 2 have? Anybody know? Can look it up. I'm just going to quickly refresh the... No, there's nothing extra information in the experimental branch. $12 gigabytes apparently. So it shouldn't be a problem at all. No, I disagree. I think I completely disagree with your statement. I don't think this is deliberate. I mean, that is not a lower VRAM texture. I think there's been a bit of a problem. For instance, as I said before, why has my draw distance for grass suddenly got so short? It's only about 20 meters in front of me. That, to me, feels like something's been set incorrectly for PC. That wasn't the case for the update. It has been getting smaller. I don't know why it's been getting smaller. I mean, the great thing about these newer, when the settlements first came out and they introduced these new build parts, the great thing about them was that they had a high resolution texture, but they didn't have quite as complicated a mesh. So they were better in terms of just kind of rendering. They were faster to render, but they had a better quality. Let's go and get some welding soap. Oh no, I came here for a reason, didn't I? I wanted to see if I could actually see stuff now. Is there some problem with this planet? Is it that thing? Let's reload to get rid of that. We just demonstrated on a different planet that I was able to see salvage. I think this planet's got the problem still. Because it didn't see that knowledge stone on my compass. It's not seeing that. All the points of interest. Nope, nothing. I've got no way of telling where it is. Changing multi-tools doesn't help. It's there. So I can see it now. So what? Why aren't I seeing... Now I can see it, but I can't see that. Some inconsistencies going on here. No idea what's going on here. Got the autophage. Not seeing that beacon. Nope, that beacon should be visible. Nope, there's some problems here. I guess that's what happens on the experimental branch occasionally. But then sometimes they ship these things without realizing they've made problems. So I'll probably have to make a report on this. Well, I was able to go to a different planet. I mean, this save is a bit weird. Maybe we'll go to another save and have a look. But I can't easily come to here because this is in Hesperius. So I can't check this planet easily. At least not quickly. I could do it by manipulating the save file at some point and test it that way. See, I'm seeing that now. Is there a damaged machinery nearby, or is it just a separate one? Probably just a separate one. Let's remove systems. Yeah, Hesperius. It's a nice sky there, look at that. I'll have a look at a different save anyway, just to see if I get a similar problem. Did I actually have anything updating here? Oh, I was going to go and get some welding soap. I'll remember that when I come back. Right, let's make a save. Let's have a look at a different save. See if we can replicate it on other saves. Go to my other oldest save here. See, this immediately looks very different. I'm seeing knowledge stones. I'm seeing buildings. I'm seeing... So maybe I need to go to a lush planet. be lush, I doubt. Oh, it is. Okay, we'll go there. Looks a bit of a vivid green for lush. I've often thought that lush might have different rendering rules. Cargo drop. Buried technology. There's no damaged machinery around here. Seeing a monolith. I'm seeing a knowledge stone. These are things I weren't seeing before. Seeing cargo drops. I'm seeing the humming sacks. Let's see if we can find a damaged machinery. Can't see one anywhere. Nice planet. Should be able to see the smoke from them. I'm not seeing anything. May have just come to a planet with very little damaged machinery. I'm seeing the green. Seeing the plant, the hazardous plant. Seeing those. Those damaged machinery. And I'm seeing that. Who knows? Maybe it is just that save. I have had other weird things with that save in the past. Seeing that clearly there. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a backup and take this character to that other planet at some point and test it. This is new, where it seems to get stuck on land on takeoff. I'm considering speed running the purple systems on this save. It's not exactly a dangerous thing to do on a permadeath save because there's not any combat or anything. It's just having to go into deep waters, but I'm pretty sure it'll be safe. How would I speedrun it? I'd just go run through it without really reading it, basically. You can get this stuff ready. So let's go back to my other save a second. Because I most recently did it on this one. So you need both of these things. So you need an Echo C, 3 Echo Cs and a quantum computer. You need crystallized helium and quartzite, but obviously that you can't do that straight away. You can't save that up. You need an inverted mirror and gold. You need to be able to build the Atlantid drive, which I believe you need indium, Atlantidium, and living glass. You could get that ready. So just go in pre-prepared, basically. So if it means I don't have to run around getting things like star seeds. I don't have to run around. I can get all of those things ready and then just do the mission and just build everything as I need it. Nexus missions sometimes take you to purple systems. They might have fixed that, though. I don't know. I mean, it always seemed wrong. Definitely seeing less things. Okay, well, I've probably done everything I want to do today on this save. We've kind of covered what we've learned with the settlements. What I'll probably do on this save next is get all of the build parts, and then we'll mess around with those in another stream. So all that remains to be said is thank you for coming and watching. I've been Pharaoh, and travel well, and goodbye for now.